Okay, can you guys hear me? All right, people on Twitter, can you guys hear me? Let me check. Can somebody just type out in the chat, please? Whoops, I'm on the wrong thing. All right. Thank you, Rick. All right. All right. Gonna wait about a minute or two to get started. I'm actually gonna do a giveaway. And there's a link that I posted in the chat. You guys should see that. In order for you guys to enter, you need to scroll down where it says login using like a Gmail or an email or something like that. That's the way to actually enter. Let's see. Gonna copy. Oops. Let me do one more. I'll do 2 giveaways. So you guys must be, when I do these giveaways, if you're not on the stream, when I read it at the end, like we'll do the drawing, you basically forfeit. And it's happened many times where people will just, enter and then leave. But I kind of want you guys to stay throughout the whole thing because there's quite a bit of information that a lot of people miss. But if you've been through this before, then I understand. So if you are kind of newer to futures or you're not sure exactly how futures work, or you might have like a little bit of an idea, but not everything in order for you to be successful, then it's probably in your best interest to stay throughout the whole webinar. I will go over everything, including how you can trade with your own money. So, and prop firms, obviously, but you do not have to. You can trade with your own as well. So, let's see. I'm just trying to update so I can have 2 different webinars not webinars, giveaways. Sorry, it's why it's taking a little bit longer. So create the competition. Let me share this with you guys. All right. Why does this one open in 20 minutes? I need to figure it out. I have like 5, I'm streaming at like 5 different places, so I'm trying to, whoops, no, I don't want that. I'm trying to like post this link everywhere. There's that one. Hang on, let me just update the time because for some odd reason it's starting a little bit later, which it's not supposed to. Edit. It's supposed to be central, not there. Okay, so on Twitter, let me post the link again. So there's 2 links, guys. One is for Legends Trading 150K account. And the other one is, okay, so if you're on Twitter, see where it's streaming, where it says Futures Basics Beginner Friendly. Underneath or under, there's 2 links. One is for Funded Futures Network, 150K account. And then the second one is to Legends. Or should I just make separate tweets? So you got, it's a little, okay, here. There's one tweet. Let me post the other one so that you guys can see it. Also, in order for you to enter, you got to log in with your email. Otherwise, the Gleam will not enter you. And then I'll do the drawing live so you guys can see the winner. So I'm making 2 separate tweets. It's just, yeah, I don't have time to explain it. Okay, there we go. Thank you. So guys, the entries doesn't mean that's how many people entered. It just means that you know how you can click on, like if you are following on YouTube or you visit the website, it gives you like 2 entries. That's what that means. It does not mean that there's 16 people. And in fact, the chances of winning are a lot. Like, let's see, I'll tell you exactly on one of these. It says 16 entries, but when I click on it, it's just going to tell me. Let me go back. It'll be like 2 people or something entered, and they just did all of the total entries, winners. Okay. Why doesn't it tell me how many people entered? Usually it tells me how many users, but that's not, yeah. So there's each action counts as an entry. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't be discouraged. I mean, I don't, luck should be, I mean, I can't sway this, but all right, let me actually get started, guys. Sorry, kind of getting off track here before I forget to get started. So I will enter any and all questions at the end. Please, if you type my name out or something like that, especially in Discord, try not to tag me. I will go back through everything unless it's an emergency, like unless you can't see the stream. Otherwise, I get distracted because I've got ADHD, and then I lose my like train of thought. But I will go back through and answer any and all of your questions. My goal is to have you guys, understand how futures works and the best way that you can become profitable. Because I think a lot of people are jumping into futures without any like um, fundamental. Like you need to have the fundamentals, and even if you are already trading futures, a lot of you still don't know the fundamentals of it, and that's where you're hurting. If you're throwing money out the window and you're not profitable and stuff. I'm not saying you're going to become profitable after this. This is a free webinar, guys. What I'm saying is that you're going to learn more in concepts and how things work, to be able to go towards the step of becoming profitable. Okay, so if you want to follow along, you can go to propfirmtrend.com. This is free. It's called Futures Trading Basics. You can also go back to this if you want to read through it, if you missed something, whatever it is. But I see a lot of people struggling trading futures, and a lot of it has to do with, number one, the mindset and the risk management. So, and that goes with all trading. It doesn't matter if you're trading futures, if you're trading options, whatever it is, but trading futures especially, because way too many people are jumping in, not knowing anything about it, and they're winging it. And when I first started trading futures, so I used to trade crypto penny stocks. options, and I switched from options to futures back in 2022. And at the time when I switched over, there were barely anyone. Actually, I personally did not know anyone that traded futures. So it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of research, a lot of trying to figure things out. And the trial and error cost a lot of money. You guys are lucky that right now there's so many people that are trading futures that can help you out. I don't know if others are doing, this kind of in-depth, you know, teaching, but um, it's important. You don't need to do the trial and error to figure out how futures work, unless you've got, a shit ton of money to throw away. Then be my guest. Um, so, alrighty. So basically, the purpose of this is to just teach some of the fundamentals of how futures work, how you can trade them on your own account, how you can get a funded futures account. Since I believe that if you're a trader, whether you're trading equities, crypto, options, you would benefit from adding futures trading to your skill set. Okay, so what are futures? So futures trading is a contract between a buyer looking to invest and a seller where the contract is made for the future and has an expiration date. Um, there are two participants, so hedgers and speculators. Now, hedgers protect their assets from risks, and speculators are usually floor traders. So, as retail traders, we are considered speculators. Futures contracts are available in 5 different assets, such as equity index futures, interest rate futures, commodity futures, currency futures, metal futures, and they all have expiration dates. Your broker, whatever you're utilizing, whether it's NinjaTrader, Trade08, um, Interactive Broker, they're all going to automatically prompt you to roll over, as you can see actually in this example here. Um, so you don't have to, memorize when when they expire. Equity index futures typically expire on a third Friday of every third month. So S&P 500 and Nasdaq, it's quarterly expirations, which is March, June, September, and December. So in about a month, we will be rolling the December futures, because right now we're trading December. We're going to be rolling it over to March. Okay. However, if you're trading, interest rate, or if you're trading uh, oil, commodities, metal futures like gold, those expire monthly. So interest rate, commodity, currency, and metal, they expire monthly. Same thing, you will get an auto roller notification. You just click yes, and it's going to roll it over for you. So let's go next. Some of the key terminologies that are used in futures trading. This is fairly self-explanatory. However, I'll just go over the first couple, which tend to be mostly used between the traders when when we're talking about futures trading. So a lot or contract is a unit of the instrument. So if I say I'm in 5 lots of NQ, it just means if I'm in 5 contracts of Nasdaq. Tick is the smallest price movement that a futures contract can make. Point is a $1 move or one handle. Globex is an electronic trading platform used for derivative futures and commodity contracts. However, traders also use the term Globex to mean the overnight session of the market, which is the electronic trading hours. RTH is regular trading hours for specific exchange or market center, which typically is around during the New York Stock Exchange. Margin is the amount of money required to be deposited by a trader to open a futures position. So these are, contract month, delivery month. That's fairly self-explanatory. So I'm just trying to cut off a little bit of time. So most often futures, are ES or MES, which is more equivalent to like SPX or SPY. NQ MNQ is like NDX or QQQ. RTY is IWM, CL is for oil, GC is for gold. So these trade in a manner more akin to shares than options. There's no theta, there's no IV. Stop losses can be placed at precise price points. And each futures contract has its own specifications, including the size of the contract, the tick size, which is that minimum price movement, and the delivery date. Micro E-minis are 1/10 as small as E-mini contracts of the same type. So to provide an example, the S&P 500 micro E-mini utilizes a $5 multiplier, whereas the E-mini version employs a $50 multiplier. So here you can see these are just a few examples, but ES, so S&P 500, which is ES or MES, they have 4 ticks in each point. So the spread is 0.25. So one mini contract changes value by $12.50 for every 0.25 it moves, or $50 per 1 point. One MES contract changes value by $1.25 for every 0.25 it moves, or $5 per 1 point. Now, NQ changes value by $5 or $20 per 1 point. And then the micro version is 1/10 of it, which is $2 per point, 50 cents per tick. Both of these have 4 ticks in a point. However, if you look at oil or CL, one CL changes value by $10 per tick or $10 per 0.01. So each penny is a tick, and it's worth $10. $1,000 per point. So when I started, first time I traded oil, I got in, and as soon as I got in, I was down $80, and I'm like, I don't understand. I thought it was a glitch because it didn't even, to me, it didn't even move. Like, it barely moved. And I didn't, at the time, I did not know that every single penny was $10. So I was down 8 pennies, which was $80, right? So if oil is trading at $60 and it goes from $60 to $61, that $1 move is $1,000. So it's important to know that not, there aren't 4 ticks in every point for all of the, different assets. So you just kind of have to check to see what, what they are. But that's why micros are always the best, especially if you're beginning to trade, whether it's, micro golds, micro oil, that kind of a thing, instead of jumping in the full index, or the full size, I should say. So futures are trading hours. The futures market is open 23 hours a day. You must close out your positions by 4:59 p.m. Eastern if trading funded prop accounts. Open Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern and closes Friday at 4:59 p.m. Eastern. Best times to trade are during the New York Stock Exchange market open or during the European markets, which is in the middle of the night. You also want to check during the holiday, as the hours may vary. So, for example, when we had Labor Day, New York Stock Exchange was closed that Monday. However, futures, we opened up the night, Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we closed at 1 p.m. Eastern that Monday. So it's not the same as far as the hours. Okay, so first off, the market is essentially futures, and we frequently discuss ES, and the S&P 500 are those. Although these futures are traded similarly to other derivatives, leverage is what they offer above all else. So futures trading is simply a very leveraged form of stock trading. The S&P 500 contract offers roughly about 32 to 1 leverage. And, like I said, ES trades in ticks. Actually, all futures trade in ticks, but it's a 0.25 spread. So one contract changes dollar. 1 tick, 0.25 tick changes $12.50, which is $50 per point. As you can see here, you guys, this is like a little cheat sheet. You can see what, if you're looking at gold, what the ticker is, minimum ticks, the tick amount, that kind of a thing. But you know, and then there's the mini and then the micro. Micro is the smaller version. So many new traders jump straight into trading NQ and ES or GC, you know, the full index value. You know, they're thinking, hey, I'm just trading futures. Well, the risk is equivalent to trading the full index value. They don't realize that trading NQ is like trading NDX. Trading ES is like trading SPX. And so if you're an options trader, and think of it this way, you're you're getting into options trading and you have I don't know, let's just say a $2,000 port. And you go in and you're trying to trade options with SPX or NDX. What do you think is going to happen to your port real fast? You're going to blow it. I don't care what anybody says. That's just the truth. You know, they don't. Most traders, especially starting out, should be trading the micros, MNQ instead, which is like trading QQQ, or MES instead, which is like trading SPY. So, you know, don't trade the full size or NQ when your account size says you should be trading the micros, the MNQ, and don't trade ES when you should be trading MES. And that's the biggest way that I see people when they start trading, especially if they're trading prop firms, they're like, hey, I'm gonna trade 4 NQs. Well, guess what? 2 trades, your account's blown pretty much. Especially if you're not, you don't know what you're doing, and you know it takes time, a little bit of time to get set up and learn how things move. But at the same time, you know, size down. When I say size down, I really mean it. So, okay, so here is different ways of getting funding. So I'm going to start out with funding your own account with your own capital. And so trading micros, which roughly cost $2,347 for an MES lot, or about $23,000 for one ES lot. And that's if you're trading with traditional brokers such as TOS or, you know, Interactive Brokers. You also want to check with your broker how much capital you need for these. The second way is to use a broker that specializes in futures, such as NinjaTrader or Tradovate or AMT. I believe Robinhood and I know Webull added futures trading, but I believe Robinhood did as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. I need to check on that. I keep talking about it. I don't trade with Robinhood anymore, so. But instead of the $23,448 for the traditional broker, Tradovate, and I'm going to use Tradovate as an example, Tradovate offers a $500 to a $1,000 day trading margin for E-mini contracts. Micro contracts are even more affordable because MES costs only $50 in day trading margin. MNQ costs $100. Again, this is for day trade margin only. If you're a swing trader and you want to swing a position over the weekend, then your positions will require a full initial margin. So for full initial margin, it's $33,000 for NQ. But for the day margin, it's $1,000. And I'll go and explain the difference between these. But basically, the distinction is that when you purchase or sell a contract, you're not purchasing ES shares. Therefore, it costs the same amount of money to buy or sell one contract, regardless of the price at which ES is trading. And margin is the term for this. So, like I said, your traditional brokers, if you're trading, you know, wanting to be a swing trader, you would need the initial balance. You need to apply for it first. Like with Interactive Broker, you need to apply for futures. They need to approve you first. And then also margins do change based upon a news event. So like if it's around CPI or FOMC, so you would want to check with your broker on the margin specifications. But if you're, you know, utilizing a futures broker, then if you're trading with micros, it's actually fairly affordable. Even if you're not trading micros, if you're trading the day trade, which is $1,000, $500 for an ES contract, it's fairly affordable. And if you're comfortable trading with your own money, then this is a play. You could do that as well. So this right here is the margin requirements. This is with NinjaTrader and Tradovate. NinjaTrader owns Tradovate. So if you can see in this left margin, it says day margin, and then it says initial margin on the right. Okay, so initial margin. This is where we talked about the swing trade. So if you're a swing trader, you want to swing over the weekend, let's say 1 NQ, you need at least $33,000 in your account for that. If you're wanting to swing M and Q, it's like $3,300. Okay, so Tradovate offers reduced margins for both the day session as well as the overnight session, and reduced intraday day margins are currently available, which is this column here, where it says $50, $100, or like 500, 1,000. Are currently available from 6 p.m. Eastern to 4:45 p.m. Eastern the following day. So technically, almost 23 hours. Okay. Initial margin, which is this little column here, is required from 4:45 p.m. Eastern until 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you're wanting to hold a position for an hour and 15 minutes, then you would need to have the initial margin. Now, I'm a day trader, a scalper. I don't need to swing for an hour and a half. I don't need to have this much in my brokerage to just for one contract, because I can utilize the day margin and close my position. I can reopen it back up at 6 p.m. So again, this is kind of a, if you are comfortable with your own money, you can do micros, $50 MES, and then $100 for MNQ. Even if you hold, like I said, you can hold pretty much like 20 hours if that's what if you're a person that likes to hold all day. But that hour and 15 minutes is going to be the initial margin, which to me, I don't really care about that. So minimum account or account minimum is about $250 to open a Tradovate account, which is one of the lowest in the industry. I'm not sure how much AMT is, but I believe that they have, like for ES, it's like $400 for a day margin instead of $500. So just kind of look around and see what the, do your own due diligence, obviously, on all of this. So the third way is, and in my opinion, if you are just wanting to test out futures trading, you can either just go to like Tradovate.com, NinjaTrader.com. They've got free demo. You can test out. It's just a paper account, obviously, how futures work, how you can trade them. However, most traders do better when they have some skin in the game. So, if you are utilizing trading prop firms, so basically you would be utilizing a finance partner known, and I'm just going to give you some names. There's many of them out there, but also known as Tradify, Apex Trader Funding, Take Profit Trader, the Futures Desk, Top Step, or My Funded Futures. Like I said, there are many others out there. Tradify has a 1-day pass. Top Step has a 2-day minimum evaluation, and Take Profit Trader has 5 days. So down here, basically how it works is you demonstrate to the prop firm that you are a successful trader, and you must pay to enter the evaluation, which is a SIM. Okay. If you succeed, that you will then be given a funded account to trade with. You pay the activation fee. Also note some firms don't even have activation fees. It just depends on accounts and prop firms. But this right here is from Apex. You keep all of the proceeds up to $25,000, 100%. And then you keep 90% of the profit after the first $25,000 you earn, while they keep 10%. So you want to see the firm rules of whatever prop firm you're utilizing. Some people will get multiple accounts when it's on discount, so that they can trade them either at the same time. So there is a trade copier you can use, and basically one click on one chart duplicates it in all of the in the rest of the account. However, each account must pass the performance evaluation as they are all standalone accounts. So, is this too good to be true? Not really. Most traders fail due to lack of discipline, due to lack of risk management. I don't care if you are trading options, if you're trading equities, if you're trading futures with your own money, with your grandma's money, it doesn't matter. The, the statistics are that 90 to 95% of traders fail. It's not because of a prop firm. It's not because of, you know, whatever the reason is. It's because really of risk management and discipline. And, if you can trade the chart, so if you're charting right now, SPY or QQQ, and you can read the price action, stay disciplined and consistent, you will make money. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you guys have seen thousands of people all over, making money, whether it's with prop firms or their own accounts. But again, these people have, they're also consistent. And, the worst that can happen is you lose your account evaluation fee. You do not pay back any capital. So, and you can also take the evaluations as many times. It's not just once and that's it. You can also trade your own funded accounts in NinjaTrader with your prop firm accounts. You would just have to sign up for your own personal account through whether it's NinjaTrader or Tradeovate. And once you're funded, you can connect them all together. So, or you don't even have to trade them all together at the same time. You can rotate the accounts. However, I think that if you're a beginner to futures, I wouldn't suggest anyone to go and buy, a bunch of accounts and try to pass them all. Um, pass one account, get get a payout, and then buy more accounts if that's what you want. I mean, at the end of the day, this is leverage. So, I mean, obviously, it's up to you what you're going to do. But just don't start throwing money in until you get, comfortable and consistent. So let's see, let's go to the next thing. So this here is from, Take Profit Trader. Why prop firms versus, trading your own money? So simply put, most traders are undercapitalized. You level the playing field by using their accounts, not your own funds. Trading your own funds can lead to severe losses. However, with the prop firm, your losses are limited to your associated challenge fee. All technology and account setup is done by them. No more documentation and painful account setup experiences. And lack of discipline haunts traders. So the risk management system and the rules will make sure that you stay disciplined during your trades. So I'm gonna. This is a piece where a lot of traders, futures traders, when they start trading, they don't understand because a lot of them, first of all, don't go through the rules. That's the biggest thing. And then they'll say, "Oh, well, it's the prop firm rules." Well, you didn't follow them, and it's not. Honestly, it's they're not hard. It's that you just didn't read them and didn't understand, or maybe you just didn't understand. So I'm going to come back to this slide, but I'm going to actually show you guys just a little bit of a different, because it's going to tie into this. So I have Tradeify. Let's click on pricing. All right. So Tradeify has two types of accounts, Lightning funded and growth. Lightning funded basically means you skip the evaluation. There's no evaluation at all. Whatever you make in these accounts, you know, as long as you obviously don't go below your max drawdown and you stay in the consistency, these are the accounts you can pull money out of. So you don't have to pass anything. It's basically you are sim funded. Okay. This growth account is end of day drawdown, which is, I'll talk about that, which ties back into what I was just speaking about. These are evaluation accounts and there's no activation fee. So let me go here. Futures Desk has some of the hands down best static accounts in the industry, and they also are, you can actually customize the plans. So, you know, the plans actually, you know, the way you customize it, it's so it's more, I guess, subjective in a way. So anyway, and Apex Trader Funding, they've got intraday. They've also are the only firm that allows up to 20 funded accounts. I know you guys have seen, most of you have seen on social media where people are pulling out, you know, high digits, you know, 6-7 figures out of Apex. And a lot of times, and I've spoken about this, is, you know, people buy 20 accounts or, you know, 40 accounts or whatever it is, and or they'll have 20 funded accounts and they copy trade them in each account. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to sell you guys a dream because it's not very typical that people will be pulling out $2 million out of a, you know, a prop firm. Okay. But they do, like I said, they do allow you to scale. So 20 accounts, if you're making, I don't know, $1,000 per account a day, you do the math. If you're making $200 a day per account, you know, times 20, and that's why it's kind of a paradox with Apex, to be quite honest. Whereas like Tradeify will only allow you to have 5 funded accounts. So now, here is the, where it brings me back to is the drawdown. So what is drawdown? Drawdown is the maximum loss you are allowed to have. Actually, you know what? Let me go back to Apex quickly so I can show you guys. This isn't, I mean, they're all similar, including Tradeify. But let's just say for a 50K account, okay, your profit goal is to make $3,000. Your trailing threshold is $2,500, which means you can't go under $2,500. Otherwise, you will breach your account. Those are the rules with Apex when it comes to evaluation. There's no consistency. There's no scaling. You can pass, like right now they've got a promo, it's 80% off and 1-day pass. So if you meet $3,000 today, just, you know, I mean, obviously not today, and it's Saturday, but in a day, you will be funded, okay? You'll get an email that night saying, hey, congratulations, you passed, and you pay your, I think they've got, it's a $40 lifetime assessment fee. And, you know, everything that you make in your performance account or your funded sim account, you know, up to $25,000 you get to keep. So once you pass, though, then the rules change a little bit. And that is, you know, your profit goal is still going to be $3,000. Your trailing is still going to stay the same. However, there's a 30% consistency, and I'll show you guys that, what the consistency means. Tradeify has different, same thing, you know, sorry, here's a 50K account. Your profit target is 3,000. You know, you can't go below 2,000. minimum days to pass is 1 day, okay? Top Step. Top Step is another one. I don't have it pulled up here, but profit target is 3,000. The max drawdown is 2,000. However, they have a 50% consistency when you're trying to pass. And I will show you guys what that means. Okay, now let me go back to this, sorry. Just want to show you guys what it kind of means, those, the rules for passing an account. So, and there's intraday trailing, end of day trailing, static drawdown. So how it works. Your drawdown limit moves up with your balance and unrealized gains throughout the day, but it resets to the daily starting balance each day. So let's use an example of a 50K account and $3,000 drawdown. Your day starts at 50,000. Okay, your drawdown is 47,000. So let's say 10 a.m. you make $500 profit, which is 50,500. Okay, so your drawdown moves to 47,500, which is that $3,000 below, right? Let's say at 11 a.m. you make another $300. Your balance now is 50,800. Your drawdown moves to 47,800. 1 p.m. comes around. You open a position with $600. You're up $600 unrealized gain. So right now, your account is at 51,400 unrealized. Your drawdown is going to move to 48,400 because it trails unrealized gains. 2 p.m. you close your position for $400 realized profit. Your account balance is 51,200, but your drawdown is going to stay at 48,400. It doesn't go down. 3 p.m. let's say you lose $400. Now your balance is 50,800. Your drawdown is still going to stay at 48,400. It does not go down. So the remaining drawdown is 2,400, which is the, behind that live drawdown. Next day, your account resets to 50,800. Your drawdown is 48,400, which is the, $3,000 from the highest balance, including unrealized. Now your available drawdown is 2,400. This type of an account works best for those that are take base hits. When you're trading with prop firms, you want to focus on, taking base hits, and if you leave runners, you want to trail, your unrealized. And also for scalpers. So intraday trailing, if you're not planning on, this does not work for someone that, let's say, has a profit of $1,000 and sits there and waits for the profit to come back to their break even. You're going to blow this account if you do that. Also, once you pass, so this is, once you're in a funded account, and once you go over, so let's say this here, your starting balance, once you go over and your drawdown amount plus 100 in most firms, you got to check but like with Apex, for example, your account becomes static, which is this side. So it does not continue to trail. So you can run up your balance to, if you, let's say up to 60,000 or 70,000, if you come back, as long as you're over, 53,100, you wouldn't blow your account. So the trailing does stop once you're funded. This is just in the evaluation stage, okay? End of day trailing. Your drawdown limit only moves up based on your ending balance at the close of each trading day. So for example, 50K account with $3,000 drawdown. Day one, you start at 50,000. Your drawdown is 47,000. Total drawdown available is 3,000. During the day, you're up to 51,500, then down to 50,800. Your drawdown is still going to stay 47,000 all day. Total drawdown available is 3,000. It stays fixed all day. Day one, close 50,800. Your drawdown updates to 47,800. So it's your day 2 when you start, your drawdown updated because it updates at the end of the day. So now it's 3,000 from you starting balance. Your total drawdown is $3,000. This is more for those that are, if you like to hold your positions, if you don't mind your position coming back to break even or even a loss. So, I mean, and you can also do base hits with this too, don't get me wrong. So that's just kind of giving you a little bit of a difference between the two. Static drawdown, this is my favorite type of drawdown. I think it's everybody's favorite once you get to that. But like the futures desk, they are one of few firms. Not every firm offers it. I know Apex offers it, but their drawdown for static is fairly small, so I don't play with it. But the futures desk is one of the premium prop firms, and they the drawdown limit is fixed based on your starting account's balance, and it never changes. So this mimics more of a your like personal funds. Okay, so for example, you have a 50K account at 3,000 drawdown. Your account started at 50,000. Drawdown is 47,000. Let's say week 1, you grow your account to 55,000. Your drawdown is going to stay at 47,000. Month 1, you grow to 60,000. Your drawdown is going to be 47,000. Let's say month 6, you grow your account up to 75,000. Your drawdown is still going to be 47,000. Now, reality check is you can lose 28,000 and then still breach it. So that's kind of the static, drawdown. But remember that, once you're funded and once you are over your, drawdowns in most of these firms, most accounts become static drawdowns. Okay, so that's something you want to kind of look into. This here is, just a little bit of like you can compare different firms, evaluation rules, payout rules. They do run promos. So for example, with Apex, it says minimum 7 days to pass and no consistency in eval, but like they'll run promotions where it's 1 day pass and still no consistency in evaluation. So that's something that you want to kind of, check out. So take Profit Trader, for example, like they do have a 5-day pass rule, but once you pass and you're above your threshold, you're able to withdraw money daily. And same thing with the futures desk. You're able to. There's no consistency. Once you pass, there's no minimum days for payouts. $100 minimum, to pull money out. No maximum, so there's no cap on it. And they also move you over to live fairly fast. So, you can kind of compare and see what. Whoops, I'm in the wrong thing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys. So let's just say Tradeify 50K account. Include activation. And then let's do Top Step. 50K. Same thing. Target is, okay, so both of them have the same target. Profit target is 3,000. You can't go under 2,000 on both. Include the activation fee. So it's going to compare. Okay, well, Tradeify, they both have the same profit target, same drawdown, but the total all-in cost is a lot less for Tradeify. So even though Top Step is $49 for an evaluation, the activation fee once you pass is $149, whereas Tradeify doesn't have that, so the value is almost $100 difference. Now, the consistency that I'm talking about, so Top Step has a I'll just use since Top Step is here. Top Step has a 50% consistency during the evaluation. And what does that mean? So let's say we pick that $5,000 or $50,000 account, and we pick the profit target is $3,000. Okay. And let's say you're trading and you make $1,700 in one day. If you calculate that, that's 56%. Theirs is 50% or less. So basically, this just calculates how much your best trading day represents as a percentage of your total profit. So they don't want, your account to be, in one day where you make, okay, let's just say you in one day you made 3,000, and you're like, hey, no, you're 100%. But if you make $1,500 or less, then this is the best day percent of total profit. If you make 700, it's even less. So it's a solid consistency. So basically, you're not relying on just passing, in one day. That's what the consistency means. And you can calculate that here under the calculator, actually. And also you can calculate how much each firm is, like if there's a discount, and kind of choose what the discounts are. Discounts change quite a bit. So sometimes there's really good deals. Other times, some firms have a better deal than the other. But there's probably about 70 or 80 different firms out there. I am one of those people that will not touch firms just because, I get a lot of messages and prop firms wanting to partner with me, and I decline because if I don't like if it's too good to be true, to me that's a red flag. And if they're fairly new or brand new, I want to see that they're solvent, that they're going to be able to pay out. I want to see kind of over a period of time. That's to safeguard the trading community, and I'm not just going to jump on just because a firm wants to partner. These are the firms that I have fairly vetted myself, traded with, and so these are more of like there's actually a few other ones. Alpha Traders is another one too, or Alpha Futures, I should say. But like, for example, the Funded Futures Network, they have like a great deal right now, which is a buy one, get one free and no activation. So like a 50K account literally comes out to be $35 total. If you pass, there's no, it's like 80 some bucks for, you get 2 accounts, and once you pass, there's no activation. So to me, that's a no-brainer if you're, testing things out or whatever. And detailed analysis. So let's say you want to do some more comparisons. So I get a lot of messages. I wish I had something like this when I started trading, where I can go in and, pick, let's say I want static accounts only. It's going to pull up the firms that have that. Okay. Not all firms have it. Let's say I want to have, I don't know, maybe I want to look into just end of day trailing. It's going to pull up which ones have that. You can also, scroll to the right, and it will tell you kind of minimum days to payout, payout splits, max scaling, and then if you click on, let's just click on this thing, it will give you, some of the things that have changed recently. This is more like a condensed version of their prop firm. So it'll give you different plans that they have. So trading instruments that you can, do what some of their evaluations are, payout structure, company, information, things like that. And then if you want, for example, you want to go just click on their website. It'll take you right to it, and you can actually, this is obviously in depth. You should always check their rules because they can change it at any time. But another thing I want to show you guys, and this is very important when it comes to trading, especially prop firms, but it doesn't matter what you're trading. So the Trading Psychology Lab. So this here, we all struggle with emotions. I don't care what anybody says. You're going to have everyone that's going to tell you, oh, well, don't, keep your emotions out. Well, guess what? We're human. And we have all sorts of emotions. We have when we're greedy, when we're bored, when we're anxious, when we're confident. Those are all emotions. So if you, do an honest self-assessment in the morning, let's say you're feeling confident, or I don't know, maybe you're feeling greedy. It's going to start to say, hey, it's a little bit of an elevated risk. Proceed with caution. Let's say you're vengeful. Now you're in a high risk state. It's going to tell you not to trade. But if you go in and kind of I don't know, let's just pick. It doesn't matter. It's going to give you also like a cognitive bias checkpoint. Do you have the herd mentality, following the crowd without analysis? Oh, everybody's bullish. Okay, well, I'll be bullish too. Okay. And then you come here, and this is probably one of the most important ones, which is called the risk management calculator. And this is what I will say 95% don't utilize. That's why they keep blowing accounts. So let's just start with, let's do MNQ. Okay. And let's say you have you got a prop firm account, or even if you got your own account. Okay. So you got a $2,000, you have $2,000 in your, whether it's your drawdown or your account. Typically, when in each trade, you should not risk more than 2 to 3%. 5% only. It's anything, above 2 is aggressive, but only to be used for high conviction setups with strong edge. So let's say you go in, whoops. Say we're going to do 2%. Okay. And we'll just say that our entry price, we're looking at 25,000, and our stop price is going to be 10 points. I'm just giving you guys examples. It could be 20 points. It could be 30. And you want to calculate the position. So per position, you're risking $40. Okay. If you're, let's say you have a 30-point stop loss. Now, you should actually not, you can't really risk anything. If it's up at 5%, so you've got a little bit more of a conviction, you have a 30-point stop loss, then tells you, okay, do one contract. You're risking $100, for a position. 15%. Let's go back to just 10 points. 15% is 15 contracts, so 15 MNQs. You're risking $300 per position. This tells you here that your account is in destruction zone. 15% risk is gambling. It's not trading. Okay, 5 losing trades, your 50% or more account is gone. 7 losing trades, your account is destroyed. And this is how 90% of traders blow up. So, size down, especially if you're trading NASDAQ or MNQ or NQ. Okay, we all have different sizes of accounts. You can't, just because you see someone on going in with 5 NQs or 3 NQs, you don't know what their account size is. Okay, or maybe they are just gambling. Or they have a really strong edge where they're a scalper and they're in and out of a trade, within a few points, very tight stop loss. again, we all trade differently, right? But this is what I see. People have $2,000 drawdown. They're not going to go to MNQ. They're going to go to NQ. So anytime I get a message from someone, they're like, "Hey, I blew my account," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what did you use, for risking? Um, what did you trade with?" And they're like, "NQ," and I'm like, "Well, how many contracts?" "Oh, it was like 3 or 4 contracts on a $2,000 account." One contract, you're risking $300. So if they're in with 3 contracts, basically they just risked 50% of their account, betting that 10 points is not gonna blow their account. So technically, this is what, like I said, this is what I see with most traders when they blow up accounts, over leveraging. And you know, I will also say that obviously the larger drawdown. So, like for example, I don't play with the 50K accounts. Some people have said that a 100K account is kind of a sweet spot. I tend to go with the 150K or 300K accounts just because it gives me a bigger drawdown and I have more of room for, um, um, just more room to play with, I guess. So this is very important. And I've seen, like, just over the past month or two, people are jumping into, trading gold. And, they might have never traded gold. So it's like they're not calculating their position. Even at 15%, it's basically telling you 0 contracts. Let's do 5. Oh, sorry, I'm risky. Let's do 4,100. Oh, 5. Yeah, it's literally telling you just do 1 contract of gold if you have a $5,000 account. So, at the end of the day, this is important, guys. This doesn't cost you anything to calculate your positions, right? Dashboard. So, if you, let's say each day you kind of go through this, you will actually get a little review of your mental state and risk setup. Not only before you enter a market, but at the same time, what over time, what it looks like. Like, okay, if I have, we all have different things that trigger us. So if you get triggered by something that's gonna let's say greed, okay, maybe that's something that you struggle with. Well, if you see that every time you're greedy, you lose because you want more, then as soon as you start feeling that, close your broker, walk away. That's you have to take responsibility for your own behavior. Nobody can do that for you. You can be in any group, Discord, whatever it is. It is very hard to copy trades. So the best thing to do is A, study, backtest. B, get in check with your emotions, with your risk management. And if you are part of a group, use it as confluence. Not, just because somebody's taking a trade doesn't mean you need to take a trade. You need to look at your, chart and see, okay, what are they seeing and what am I seeing? Do I think it's bullish? Do I think it's bearish? That kind of a thing. So it's more as confluence, not as somebody says, I'm in at 25,000 long and you just jump in right after them. That's not how it works. And if you do, then you risk the minimum, 1 micro. Okay. That kind of a thing until you kind of get, comfortable yourself. So let me go back to, nope, trading journal. Same thing with journaling. You can import your trades and stays local, so nobody sees, your trades or whatever. But it will help you kind of have um, a your consistency, your win rate, all of that kind of stuff. Um, Also, another thing you can do is look at the growth calculator. So the risk, understanding the risk to reward ratio. So if you are risking $500 to make $1,000, that's a pretty good risk to reward ratio. Because with that ratio, you actually only need 33% win rate to break even, and anything above that is profit. Okay, so this is why your profits need to exceed your risk. However, if you're risking 1,000 to make $200, that is a very bad ratio. You would need a pretty high hit rate or even like 100% hit rate to make that. Okay. So, and I'm just going to tell you guys what I do. This is just, I have at least, so if I'm risking 10 points, my goal is to at least make 10 points or more. Okay. Also, my hit rate is about 70%. On some weeks it's 75%. Other times it might be like 62%, but I'll hit at least 10 points or more. Okay. And then I start scaling out at 10 points. And if I have runners, I'll start scaling them out as, the trade is going in my way. I have a 10-point stop loss on NQ or MNQ. That is a very, very, very tight stop loss. Most people, in fact, that stop loss got me wicked out yesterday multiple times because NASDAQ was moving 30, 40, 50 points in milliseconds in both ways. So I got stopped out 3 times, I think. It was not my day. I even tried to adjust it to like a 50 tick, same thing. So, and it was OPEX options. So you got to like realize, okay, what typically when you're trading, your stop loss a lot of times should be in above a candle or above where it no longer like it should be where it no longer makes sense for you to be in a trade. But I'm more of a momentum trader, so I'm not I don't hold a position all day. So to me, I look to see I use order flow footprint for more of a precision entry. And if it's okay if I get wicked out, that's fine because there's no PDT with trading futures. You can get in and get out as many times, but you need to kind of just adjust it to yourself, right? This here is actually really, really cool. It's free. It's a free Inside Trades journal for, let me sign in, see, Combines Live. So here it will, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff he keeps adding on. So I have not kept up with it. I haven't even uploaded anything, but it's got, analytics, performance analysis. I should have brought AJ on for this. But there's trade copy, your mentor mode. You can connect your accounts to different brokers and everything. But it's got playbooks, strategies, just all sorts of stuff to kind of help you keep in check on your trades. What days you're doing really well, what time. Like, did you really well the first 2 hours, and then like for me, I know that my trades are the best the first 2 hours. They're not. If I am at my desk around the lunchtime, and if I get bored, I am going to give back to the market. That's just how it's always been. So you learn to shut down during that time or go back to um, like, closing out your broker, whatever it is. I need to actually, he's been working on it, so I haven't really updated anything in here, but it's a pretty cool trading journal. Let me go into, back here. So when you start trading futures, the first thing in the morning that you should always do is go to calendars. Check to see whether it's Trading Economics, Forex Factory. You want to check to see, especially if there's a red folder in Forex Factory. So a lot of times, a lot of prop firms will not allow you to trade during a red folder. The heck? Do we not have any red folders next week? Maybe not. So there's orange, red, yellow, but some firms will let you trade 1 minute before, or you got to close out 1 minute before at least, or trade 1 minute after. Some will let you trade a certain amount of contracts during, and then some will just let you trade it the whole thing. So it's not a, you just got to see what their rules are on news trading. Also, you want to check with, Earning Hub. So, like when we had NVIDIA, if you were in a trade, just because New York Stock Exchange closed doesn't mean we were closed. And you were in a trade and the wrong trade and, it popped up 100 points, could get you wicked out, or, just, you want to know kind of what's going on with the markets, regardless actually what you're trading. Same thing with news feeds. You can go to Barchart, Benzinga, Financial Juice, just to have market updates while you're trading. So that's another thing. Also, when I trade, I always have the Mag 7 up. I will, along with VIX, but I will check to see, what NVIDIA is doing, but Amazon, Microsoft, all of those. What is the sentiment with those when I trade NASDAQ? Because it has obviously an impact. So let me go back to the trading resources. And then here there's, some strategies and setups and risk management, all of that kind of stuff you can play with. But now I'm going to show you guys some of the platforms, and then I'll show you guys also like how the execution works. Not only so you can see the dollar amounts or how it changes, not this isn't a technical analysis thing. So if you look here, this is Project X platform. I'm sure you guys have heard quite a bit about it over the past couple of weeks, but TopStep owns it. And I believe, from what I've seen and heard, that by end of February, they are not going to be offering it to other prop firms. It's just going to be with TopStep. But there's been quite a bit of issues over the past, few months, and that's kind of where a lot of this is coming from. But if we're going long, you would buy market, buy or join bid. This looks more like TradingView. If we're going short, you would obviously sell market, join ask, cancel your positions, flatten all, whatever. Up here is where you would change your ticker. And then on the left, that's where you've got the trade copier built in, and also like a lockout system. So you can lock yourself out, that kind of a thing. This right here is NinjaTrader prop firm. I use NinjaTrader just because I use order flow footprint, so I can have I can basically, let me just put it this way, 98% of traders do not use order flow footprint, so you don't have to worry about that. But NinjaTrader allows you to add third-party indicators on. So that's the reason why I use it. The same thing, if we're going long, it's buy market, sell market. Sorry, if we're going long, it's buy market, join bid, or join ask. If we're selling, sell market, sell ask. So the ATM strategy basically is showing you where you should have, where you can put your stop losses. A lot of times it's in ticks, so you need to kind of calculate what, tick wise. But I can't tell you guys how important it is to have a hard stop loss. I don't care if it's, if you're playing with 30 points, it's better than nothing. Um, you, I've seen so many accounts get blown, even with micros, because they didn't have a stop loss. Because by the time you try to close out, it's already gone. A big wick candle will come through, and you're out, and you breached your position. So always have a stop loss. You know what? Big deal if you get stopped out. Um, you don't want one wick to come through and stop you, like wipe out all of your account. And this here is Trade-O-Eight platform. Basically similar, same stuff, guys, as the DOM. But you can buy market if we're going long, buy bid, sell market if we're going short, sell ask. Here's where obviously where you would change how many contracts you're using. And then the ATM, which is, your stop loss, take profit. You don't have to have a take profit, but as long as, you're safeguarding your account, because either the market is going to be your stop loss, or you're going to have your own stop loss. So you choose. Okay, so basically, the key points are, if you know how to chart, just like you would SPY or QQQ, while this might be considered easier than options, it is in respect due to no Greeks. But however, most struggle with management, FOMO, and mindset. And it happens to all of us, guys. We all have good days, bad days. We have good phases, bad phases. That's part of being a trader. Okay, so I'm gonna actually go to Trading View and show you guys the difference between when we execute NQ or MNQ or ES. This is in replay, since it's obviously it's a Saturday. Okay, so let's say I've already set this up, but let's say we want to sell. Okay, this is one contract. Okay, 22 grand, one contract. Let's say now we want to close it out. I don't know. Okay. Shoot, I don't know if that actually entered me. But that's how fast. Obviously, this is a little bit faster, but that's just one contract, okay? This is profit. But let's just say we were in the wrong trade, okay? Let's go back. We went, let's say we had no stop loss. We went long. Obviously, your account would have been blown all the way up here. But you see what I'm trying to say is that how important it is to have stop losses with, especially if you're trading NASDAQ. Now, what I've been telling you guys, what I see, being in this for a long time, being a Discord owner, mentoring people, I will see people go in with, let's just say 5 NQs, okay? Great. If you're on the right side, damn, there's 90 grand, right? Beautiful. That's not, oh, actually 113. That's not the typical. Because if they were in a wrong, now this is replay, so yeah, in hindsight, that would be beautiful. But if you go in with that many cons and you're in the wrong, trade, and let's say you have, you're on the, even if it wicks you out, even if you're in the right side, let's say you were in a short, but it wicked up, but you went in with 5 contracts. I mean, look, let's say you were in a wrong side. How quickly you would have blown your account. Obviously, you wouldn't even get down here, but you guys understand the point that I'm trying to make, okay? Now, let's go to MNQ to show you. MNQ. I don't know why people use the continuous one, but let's do the December. Oh no, I just lost $109,000. Okay, replay. Let's do this. Oops, where's my MNQ? Okay, let's just stay with one MNQ, okay? We're gonna do the same thing. So see how even with one contract, you can make money. That's that micro that it's the micro size. But also you can see how you can blow an account. If you have one micro and you don't have a stop loss and your drawdown is $2,000, you would have blown it with just one micro. I actually had somebody message me the other day who didn't have a stop loss. They entered a position with one micro and they walked away to go work. They came back, their accounts were blown because they didn't. And I said, well, did you have a stop loss? Well, no. Okay. Well, then there's your answer. So MES. Select a bar. Just going to do the same thing here. So now what I want to show you guys, where's the DOM? Hang on a second. I'm going to use the DOM just to show you. Okay, so see how on the DOM it says 67, 63, okay? And it says 0.00, 0.75, 0.50, 0.25. So it moves in 25 cents or in 0.25 increments. Each quarter is $12.50. $1 move. So when we move from 67.63 down to 67.62, so that $1 move is $50. Okay. So let's do the same thing here. We're going to sell just one. This is MES. Sorry, MES is $5. So watch that, okay? Let's just, okay, close it out. Now we'll switch over to the bigger contract. Also, ES or MES, it's a lot less volatile than NASDAQ or NQ. So one contract, one, MES, $900, right? Now let's say we went to ES. I hope you guys are still here. I hope I'm not boring. But I just want you guys to see the difference and learn the importance of sizing and just how futures work, really. Okay, so this is ES. So let's sell one ES. Okay, so notice for the same move, pretty much NASDAQ and ES that they've made, the difference just with one contract, how much volatile NASDAQ is, where it gave us, what was that? That one move was, where's the little thing? Okay, so that trade was what, 9 grand? Shorting with one ES. And I think it was like almost double with NQ. It was like 23 grand or something like that. I can't remember. Now I want to know. Just because I'm actually curious about something. I used to trade ES. I rarely ever trade it now. But let's just do one. Yeah, it's like almost double 20. So you can have double the gains. You can also have double the losses. So that's basically as far as futures, guys. It's fairly simple. Okay. All right. Now that I am done showing you guys this, let me see if you guys have any questions. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind, Umar said, I requested a payout from TPT 5 days ago and still haven't received it. Any updates on yours? I requested mine on the 20th. I haven't heard back yet, but typically towards the end of the week, it takes a little bit longer. I'm not worried about it. They've always paid out. They will, I mean, might be taking them a little bit longer because I think they've got an influx of more people. So take profit traders, what we're talking about. They've got more people joining, I think, because Lanto, you guys have seen, he's made a couple of $1 million in a few days with them. So now more and more people are hopping over to Take Profit Trader, which is still, it's been one of my top favorite prop firms, so if you guys use my code, you get 40% off and also no activation fee. Once you pass, you can withdraw daily. So, and sometimes, like I said, it can take a little bit longer, but typically it's faster than that. Okay, let me go back through. Okay, so the amount of time you devote teaching and empowering traders is just great. Thank you. 2 giveaways. Confused. How do I enter? I just retweeted. Okay, so you need to click on that Gleam link. And when you click scroll down, it's going to have like little email or G. You would enter in there. You would click on that. And that's how it will prompt you to enter. And there's like different ways of getting extra entries. So like each activity on there is going to be. Market tuition is so expensive. Yes, it is. Market tuition, guys, we've all gone through it and we've all paid it. And you will too as well. If you are fairly new to trading, guys, it takes time. This is why I always say, like, size down. Um, unless, like I said, unless you've got an infinite amount of money to blow for market tuition, then that's your, it's your prerogative. But like, when I was trading options, I actually posted my broker statement a couple of weeks ago, I think. I had lost $220,000 of my own money trading options because a lot of it was expiring, worthless. Um, I was playing weeklies or zero DTE, and even if trades were going in my position or in my favor, the decay, the theta, the premium was decaying, and IV crush, that kind of a thing. But um, and when I switched over to futures, it took a couple of months to become profitable because I was doing a lot of trial and error. I didn't understand, you know, um, I jumped in trading with NQ and ES, actually with ES, and then it took me a couple of months to switch over to NQ. When I switched over to NQ, it was like the first 2 or 3 times I tried it, I was like, screw this, I will never trade this because it was like I got chewed up type of thing. Again, I went in with the big size. And it took a long time to realize, okay, I need to size down. I need to work on my edge. And to me, like, my edge is order flow footprint. Um, with the way I trade, but and I'm more of a momentum trader, so it does take time. So I wish I had, when I started back then, where somebody would have been like, hey, forget ES, forget NQ, forget going in 5 or 10, ES lots. Size down, take it slow, because you will actually become more consistent when you are taking it slow. Thank you. Glad to see you level up the game. Thanks. Hi, ma'am. I can hear you. Okay. So somebody just said, it took some time for me to realize how micros are good to me. Yes, that's, I actually had a member that used to trade with, NQ or ES that came back. She messaged me a few days ago and she said, I'm going to come back. I haven't, traded in a while. And she started trading with micros. And first day she was up $800. And she was like, I am just like, she's in shock how much better she's doing trading with micros than with the large size. All minis here. Okay, well. Somebody says I love Project X, but they're suspending everything. The thing that I don't like about Project X is that I can't add on third-party indicators. So with NinjaTrader, I can do that. I can add on order flow footprint. You can add so many different things. Whereas, like, or if you're using Sierra charts, you can add TPO, things like that. But with Project X, you can't. So it's just for executing, and it's fine for executing. But they have had some issues with that too over the past few months. So RH Robinhood. Oh, okay. Thanks for sharing the knowledge and personal accounts. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody is different. Some people don't want to trade with prop firms. That's fine too. And there's different ways to trade. And, like I said, using intraday, margin or day trade margin versus initial margin are two different things. Why not? Nice. Well, I'm sure you'll look okay. Tradeify. Yeah, I love Tradeify. Yeah, I do too. Let's see. It looks like two people are just kind of talking to each other. Jack of all trades, the intraday trailing would get you. Yeah, if you are, as I explained. If you're more of a base hit and scalper, you're going to be fine with it. Also, if you have a bigger drawdown too. Okay, hold on. I'm just scrolling through. There's quite a bit of someone says, please join Rabbi Rothschild's Discord. What? Okay. Yes, Will. Hey, you. It is. It's all about position size. Smaller positions also limit emotions. Exactly. Will is a CMT, guys. Yes, Maple uses micros too, guys. And because you can scale in and out as well. ES is definitely slow moving, not my thing. Does Prop from Trend or any other tool help you set trading goals to make sense of all of your various consistency rules? Ideally, I'd like to know how to get to payout in an instant funded account most efficiently, or if I have a down day, how to recover and recalculate how to give back. So I showed you guys the let me go up back to trading resources. Where is the journal? So this analytics, inside trades is going to be your best bet with all of that you're talking about, JR. And if you guys want, I can actually have just one like one night or one day where he goes over this whole thing to help you guys like just have different trading goals and consistency and all of that and lumps it all into one. Let me actually, that's the question. If I can, whoops, no. Do you check the heat maps or index to see if there's a mix of green and red? Yeah, of course. I mean, I check. I've got 9 screen guys. So I am like watching different things at all times. I'm looking and reading, whatever the news, like financial juice things that come out, different heat maps, different time frames. You guys, when you're trading futures, so some people will trade or chart like QQQ and execute on NQ or MNQ. I don't do that. I chart my NQ and I will enter based on whatever I chart on there. But whether you're using, let's say, moving averages or EMAs or SMAs, or if you're using pivots, if you're using Fibonacci, supply and demand, support and resistance, whatever it is, whatever you're using with what you're trading right now works also on futures. It's not like you don't have to learn a different type of charting or anything like that. Thank you, David. David's here. David is actually he's my mentor. He's a retired market maker, and so is Peter Tuchman, which is Einstein of Wall Street. They actually have an academy. You guys can check it out if you want. Somebody said, I wish I knew you 60K ago. Well, I wish I knew this stuff when I lost that 220K back in. Thank you. Yes, patience and discipline. You're right, David. Better slow moving than run over. You're right, but my trades just have been working really well, like with NQ momentum versus like ES, but Somebody said, please do the giveaway now. I'm getting bored. Okay, okay. I know, I get it. Let me see if there's any other questions anywhere else. Sorry, let me see. Using a day, we dropped 1,200 points in 5 hours seems a bit overzealous. No, that's just to show how fast you can blow your account without a stop loss. It doesn't matter. I mean, um, yeah, those days are not typical, guys, by any means, whether profit or losses. But yeah, some platforms are delayed, guys. And like I said, no matter what, micros, journal, this Inside Trades, I'll actually set up a webinar with AJ where he can go over, and it's free, guys. Like I said, it's got a lot of pretty cool stuff. It's like AI integrated playbooks, just all sorts of stuff that will help you guys get on the right track. Any tips in passing emails? Okay, hold on. There it is. And does Profit Trend or any other tools, calculators help with planning the most efficient plan with? Okay, so yeah, Jimmy, I'll have I'll set up something with the owner of Inside Trades to go over that. Okay. Any tips in passing evals, or would you say it would be typically take months to pass a small eval with base hits? It doesn't necessarily take months. Don't try to rush the process of passing evals. Here's the thing. A lot of people will see 1 day pass. That's great. The thing is, take your time in passing evals. You do not have to pass it in 1 day. You do not have to pass it in 2 days. If it takes you 20 days to pass, that's okay. Just aim for, whether it's base hits or however you trade, whatever you're doing in your evaluation, that bad habit or good habit, whatever habit you have, will go over and, into your funded account. So if you are YOLOing, you go in and you are hitting, I'm going to do 5 NQs just so I can pass this account really quickly. And that dopamine hits. But when I get the funded account, I'm going to be really good and I'm going to switch over to micros. No, you won't. You might switch over to micros at first. And then you're going to, let's say you take a little loss or something, you're going to try to make that up. You're going to have that dopamine, you know, um, you're going to try to have that dopamine hit again. You're going to go back in, start over trading with NQs and blow your account. So the best thing is work on your strategy. Find something that works for you, whether it's, I don't know, uh, I don't know, let's say pivot. Okay. You're only going to wait for a key level to take a trade. And every single day, like let's say that works for you all the time. You work on your sizing and just do that. Don't overcomplicate things. I see so many people trying to use 37 million different tools only to continue to have losses. You don't have to have everything to have to be consistent. Just find something that works for you, even if it's boring. As long as you're patient and disciplined, then you can just, if you can replicate that, you're just going to be fine. And use it with micros. Set rules. So if you have, again, it depends on your account size, depends on how you trade. If you have 2 losing trades in a row, shut it off, lock yourself out, whatever you need to do. Also, I always tell my people, if you have green trades and you have noticed, you sit there and you get a little bored, you start playing with the account, and then you lose your money, don't do that. lock yourself out. I do that. I'll lock myself out when I have green trades. And yes, oh my gosh, I missed out on a 1100 point move. Big deal. It could have also been a loss. So the market is always going to be there. So at the end of the day, you just need to figure out what, stop reminiscing over what could have happened or should have happened. I know we all have that. Like you leave money, you think you leave money on the table, which there are many times we do, but at the same time, it could have flipped, and your goal is to, green is green. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody ever went broke from being green. But if you're sitting there trying to go for home runs every single day, you're not. We don't have home runs daily, so just take your small base hits. You will pass it. Whether it's $300 a day, that's fine. It will calculate how long it's going to take you to pass. If it's $500, even if it's $100, guys, if you are making $200 to $300 a day, and this is one thing that I see so many people posting P&Ls and this and that. And I used to do the same thing, but David actually made a great point. This was like 5-6 years ago, where he said we don't post P&Ls because it can breed a greed. Yes, it can be inspirational, but at the same time, if let's say you're red and you're seeing somebody is up 20, 30K day after day, a lot of times that's not the case. Number one, it's not typical. Number two, stop comparing yourself and your P&L with somebody else's, because your journey is different than theirs. Your time when you started trading is different. You're not Stop trading somebody else's P&L, and it's going to rob you, like it's going to fuck with your mindset. I promise you guys that. When I used to post P&Ls, I would have people trying to replicate, and they would end up, for example, I take a trade, they didn't take that trade, okay? So they sat out. Let's say I take a second trade, and they now go in with, and my second trade is not going to be as big as my first one, for example. I'm sized down, and I'm playing with profits. But this person now might size up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to get a couple of grand in this trade, and they end up losing their ass, just to give you an example, okay? Stop doing that. You need to have your own goal. That's the only way you're going to make it. There's a reason why 90 to 95% of traders fail. And there's nothing wrong with taking $200 or $300 a day, even if it's over a couple of accounts. So if you have, let's say you spread out your risk, I don't know, just to give you an example, you have 5 accounts, for example, you spread out your risk, you're playing with 1 MNQ on each account, just to give you an example. You're going to make money if you stick with that and you find a strategy that works, more often than not, versus trying to have one account where you're going in with 10 MNQs. So the point that I'm trying to make is that most people don't even make $300-$400 a day on in their real job. And you don't have to try to aim to make 4 or 5 grand a day per account, because somebody on X is doing it, and you don't know their situation, you don't know their account size, you don't know if it's a paper account, you don't know if it's if they're I don't know. The point that I'm trying to make is that don't compare yourselves to others. Do set up your own goal and work on that. And the more people that have gone back, stepped back and said, you know what, I'm going to start doing micros, and I'm going to start trading, smaller size, and just stick to my own goals and consistency, they are starting to take payouts. And guess what? Those payouts are compounding. You don't have to pull out $1 million. You don't have to pull out, 600,000, whatever it is. It's okay to pull out, even if it's $500. It's $500 more than you had, couple of days ago. It's, you're going to pull out, it's going to start smaller, then you're going to start pulling out bigger and bigger amounts. But again, you shouldn't even focus on, if you're not profitable right now, you should not focus on money. You should focus on playing with small size to be consistent. And your consistency is going to look like, for example, green day, green day, green day, red, green day, red, green, green. It doesn't mean you don't take losses. Consistency doesn't mean you never have a red day. We all do. And if somebody says that they have a 100% hit rate, they don't. There's nobody. I don't care unless they're legit trading with a bot that just takes 1 point and that's it, maybe. But even then, So that's just step back and do, the base hits. You're not going to see a pilot jump. And another thing is play with the sim account. A pilot is not going to be like, hey, I'm going to go fly a plane without ever, getting, sim time and practicing. So same thing. Your job is to protect your capital first, then to make some money. It's not, maybe I'm kind of going on off tangent. Sorry, guys. Uh, Luna the cat, go to the prop firm trend and go to the little, no, that's not the calculator. This trading psychology, risk setup, right here. All of your, how to calculate with your drawdown amount, not if it's a 50K account, you're not going to put in 50K account if your drawdown's $2,000 because you don't have 50K in that account. And then risk per position, what your entry would be, what your stop loss would be. So this is where you calculate that. Let's see. If you're not, you should be part of the daily trading session with Minx. I passed my evals with her and the learning journey continues. The basic sessions, technical analysis sessions, and the Discord itself. Thank you. In settings, in Tradeify, it has a 2000 drawdown stop. Did not work. Should I take it before? Jedis, I'm not sure what your question is, but we'll talk since you're in the Discord, okay? She's a pro. She has 9 screens and sometimes I get distracted too, guys. What is your main strategy when trading? Mine revolves around auction, market theory, in conjunction with ETH and RTH VWAP with up to 2. So I, like I said, I use order flow footprint, and believe it or not, my technical analysis is fairly basic and fairly simple because it works and it's very precise, and it has to do with learning from David. But it revolves around moving averages, pivots, and then I integrate order flow footprint with that for like precise, being precise in my entries. But it's in conjunction with my order flow footprint. So my technical analysis. So when we're around a key level, then I'm going to watch to see what the delta is, if there's aggressive buyers, aggressive sellers, all of that kind of stuff. Oh, what is a site prop from trend? This is it's a free site, so this is my so I compiled, like I said, when I started trading futures, guys, I had no one to at the time I had no one to help me with any of this stuff. So I've put together everything that you would need, trading futures, trading psychology lab, trading journal, all of this is free. So all of the research I've done over the years, trading resources, you know, the basics of trading, the news feeds that you would need, the calendars, you know, explaining in short little videos, you know, prop firms or what are, you know, like the 3 types of drawdown, um, you know, strategy, risk management, all that kind of stuff. It's you can compare your costs with different prop firms. You can multi, you know, compare or whatever. Also, guys, we are actually, I forgot to mention, but you know, Traders Wealth Lounge, we do have a deal. If you use the code MINX, you can actually go up here to verify receipt. If you're not part of the Discord, we have a free side, but you can join it there and then just submit your receipt, and you will get access to the premium side, which has 5 analysts trading. It's free, so. So fine, and this year during this market, during this Trump market, I have to have Financial Juice website. Yeah, we have it directly in our chat, the Financial Juice during our trades because we have to have it just so we don't miss anything when it comes to news. It just basically will help us while we're trading to see what's coming out, you know, whether we should expect, you know, some sort of a bigger move or whatever it is. So, all right, let me go back to the other and then I'll do a drawing and then we'll finish it up. Okay, guys. Yes, this is recorded. Thanks, Fenster. TW rocks. Yes, we do. um, yes, this session is recorded. Somebody says, Minx, I joined late, but if you don't mind, when you have time, let's say you starting as a new mini micros trader, on your honest opinion, which prop firm will you use to start and which account size will you pick? Mini micro, those are two different things. So minis are like ES or NQ. Micros are the 1/10 of the size. And so I'm not understanding what your question is. Which prop firm will I use to start? Depends what I'm like. Like I said, I don't trade the 50K accounts or anything under 100K. My preference is at least the 150K accounts, because it gives me more of a drawdown. So I have more room to play with. Okay, let me, okay, did you guys enter? Let's reload. I have a lot of giveaways, you guys. Not many of you entered, Jesus. Okay, so there's 2 giveaways. 19 of you entered one and 29 of you entered the other. That's crazy. And there's, how many on Twitter was there? 1,100? Yeah, almost 1,200. This is why I say, you guys, these are free accounts. Okay, let's go to quick draws. Whoops, that's not what I want. I'm still learning how to do this. Competitions. Okay, I need to find out. Hang on, I gotta figure out. I don't know why it does it like this. Is it blue sky? No. Okay, here it is. This is funny. Dino, look at you, boy. You've been begging. He said this is he's been wanting me to end this I can't be awake anymore now having a fever. See, well, you won. Is he here? Dino, please say you're here. DM me. Well, there's one more R. I'll do one more drawing, okay? It's a different. What if Dino left, you guys, after this whole time? Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Somebody get Dino back in here. You hope he left. I'll still honor it to him because you know what? He's been waiting this whole time. He's got a fever. I will. No dinner for Dino. Ah, you guys are funny. What should I do? You think so too? I think Dino won a fair and square. Dino's at the bar watching college football and drinking. I think so. Dino won. Well, there's another one, you guys. Just tell Dino. Yeah, most of you that are here on these streams, you guys, so many of you have won just because people don't enter, and I don't understand why. It's like I am gonna give it to him. Yeah, let me just do this because you know there's always those police people looking and watching if we have given accounts out, which is good because there are a lot of fake giveaways, guys, where people don't give them out. All right, let's do a second draw. I just have to go back in here. Yeah, look, now there's 30 users just because, yeah, guys, the actions just mean different ones. And if you go into Prop Firm Trend and look at the giveaways, these are all giveaways that are ending like in 4 days, 3 days, 8 days. You can still enter. Okay, so this one right here, how do I figure out winners? Okay, I'm gonna draw a winner, but it might show a person's email. I haven't figured out how to do the I don't want to show a person's email. Legends giveaway. Hang on. Okay, competitions. Sorry guys, it's this new thing I'm trying to like Legends giveaway. I don't know if it's this one. Oh, I can't see which one it is. Oh, see this one. Yep, so it's not that one. Okay. Some of them have ended. It's kind of stupid. I can't see like which one. And this one ended too. There's a different way I can draw it, but I'd have to. This one finished. Let's try this one. Hey, nope, not that one. Shoot. Thanks for being patient with me, guys, while I'm learning some stuff. Please be this one. 18 minutes left. Yes, it's this one. Okay, okay. I only put it for 18 minutes left because I didn't know when this was going to end, so. Mike Stahl, are you here? Okay, okay. You can just, I know, I see you. Jesus, you don't have to spam now. You got it. Just DM me on X, okay, Dino? Haha, look, Mike, you won. Nice. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I'm going to create another competition after this, so you guys aren't here, for 5 people to win a 30 days for free to Traders Wealth Lounge. And if you're an existing member, you'll just get 30 days added for free. I was told I'm not good at running a business because I am a little too soft. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, message me. Okay, so I'll post that and you guys can the ones that were here. I don't know how that I'm gonna be able to figure out who was here or who was not. But let me just show you guys how to enter these because clearly people are not learning or not understanding. See how on the bottom it says log in using? You gotta click on that in order for you to enter. So you would click on the email or Google or X, whatever you're using, and then it will tell you like each thing to enter. Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, there's 8 more giveaways or however many are left. Nope, there's 9 giveaways left, guys. Thanks, Leslie. Big heart, soft heart. Yeah. Yeah. Not. I mean, the chances of winning these accounts are pretty big, guys, because not very many people are entering. And those that are entering, they're utilizing all of the actions that you can um, whatever enter with. So yes, I was told I'm not a good businesswoman. I know. Somebody said if I could, I would I would give away everything to like everybody. Yeah. Quick question. Do I think Michael Patak would get rid of Top Step XFAs soon? Fees soon? I have no idea what they're planning on doing at Top Step. I am a bit surprised we did um, phase actually Michael data between all of the you know um, between all of the firms. Like, oh no, we don't want to trade. I mean, it's less. You don't want to get black. Like if you're banned at one firm, for whatever reason, if you a lot of some people get banned because what they do is they'll buy an account, they won't pass, and then what they'll do is they'll do a chargeback. If you do a chargeback to a prop firm, you will be banned. It doesn't matter which firm it is. That's not a um, so why would different prop firms want to share the details between different between the trader about the traders between, and so they said no. So then what they did is they offered Project X to most of these prop firms, and a lot of them hopped on that, and that Top Step owns Project X, so that's where data sharing came in. And then now they're basically saying by end of February they are not going to allow um, other firms to use Project X. You're banned. Oh, yeah. Well, so if you guys go and you give a bad review to a prop firm that you're trading with, technically, once you become a funded trader with them, you are their contractor. So it's kind of like if you are working for, I don't know, let's just say you work for Wells Fargo and you go online and you post, um, negative feedback or reviews, whether it's on social media or their review, you're going to be fired. That's just, I mean, think about it. It doesn't, try doing that with other firms. Or I mean, with any employer. Quick question. Did the MFFU giveaway expire, Fenster? Every time you trade an account with Project X platform, you get bad slippage, so now you call it SlipX. Yeah, during high volatility, unfortunately, there is slippage. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of trading Project X. I do it with one firm because I love the firm. But honestly, guys, because I trade everything like with trading, Trade08 and NinjaTrader. Um, I link up all of my prop firms there, so it's easier for me to trade. But I started taking Project X more seriously for some odd reason. To me, looked more like a video game. So I would like forget because it's on a different browser. So I would forget if I'm in a trade or like, um, I'll just get in just to make a trade or whatever it is. And it that's the only reason I'm using Project X is with one prop firm is because I really love the prop firm, which is the Futures Desk. But they do have other platforms as well. So, yeah, same with you, Fenster. Leo, yeah, Leo owns daytraders.com, owns Project X, but he's Top Step. He's with Top. I mean, that's a Top Step thing. Yeah, I know Leo Riot. But the main guy that made Project X left. He resigned in October. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of chatting because I see questions come up. Let's see. Any other whoopsies? No, don't open up Sierra chart. Okay. Any other questions? Questions? Where is he going to? Who? The guy that resigned from the one that created Project X? He said there was too much he tweeted about it actually. He said there was too much corporate politics, and they decided to lay off. I don't know, something about being people being laid off, so he decided to quit. JMU has quite a bit of stuff on that, actually. Oh, one thing. So, guys, remember how I talked about there's a lot of prop firms? These are the 8 featured ones that I trade with, and then some of the ones down here as well. But if you scroll all the way down, no, there's a comprehensive list of prop firms. I need to update this because there's more. There's like 66 or 70 different prop firms. I have not vetted a lot of them. A lot of them are not sustainable, and I have been approached by most of these firms to like partner with them, but if I don't believe that they their rules or that they are they're going to be around for quite a bit, I'm not going to. My credibility, it means a lot more than, you know, with some of the firms on here. Well, some of the firms on here also like on the other, but this is just like a comprehensive of all of the firms. But just so that you guys know that there are other firms, and like this one, Fast Track Trading, a lot of people loved it, and I knew right away, and I told them this firm is not going to last because if it's too good to be true, it usually is, and that's exactly what happened. They rugged people. So same thing with Thrive. And right now, actually, the CEO of this company and this one are teaming up to start a new prop firm. And I have spoken out about it, against it, and it's kind of funny how I get a lot of heat from people, and then when it happens, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right." There's a few other firms that are I don't believe are going to make it very far. So, yeah. Does the detail chart you use with the pink and green colors and showing activity price action, I guess, costs extra? Oh, you mean the order flow footprint? Yeah, so that's an extra add-on that like I got. It's through Trade Devils. So if you just go to tradedevils.com, you can I think it's honestly it's like $459 right now, but look, I think next week they're probably going to be running some sales. So I would wait Yeah, yeah, just it's called Trade Devils. Do you have a recommendation for a firm that uses static account? Yes, my favorite, and it actually, I will say that almost every single person that has gone to this firm is starting to be their favorite firm. It's called the Futures Desk. Their account is customizable. Here, do I have it? So you can get up to $6,000 in static. Once you pass, it's daily uncapped payouts, and there's no consistency once you're passed. They also move you fast to a live brokerage. So their whole team is very, very hands-on. Like the CEO, all of the. I mean, it's like I said, the only reason I'm using Project X is because of them. But they do offer other platforms. It's just that I didn't select it at the time. You get like free one-on-one coaching, um, zero activation fee. Their accounts are also scalable. So like if you can have up to 4 accounts with them, but they're like up to $6,000 in total static account. They're also really big on, they're trying to change. I call them a premium prop firm because they don't want, they're not going to offer, 10,000 accounts or 10 accounts or whatever because they feel like that people should learn to be consistent and take it slow and all of that kind of stuff. Hang on a second. Let me go to their website so I can show you. It's called the Futures Desk. And I'm actually going to have Josh, who's the CEO, come on once and do this new dashboard thing that they offer. But if you go to their pricing, the static account is 70% off. And also once you pass, there's no there's an activation fee and there are no monthly charges. So once you pass, there's no subscription or anything like that. But you can customize your plans. You can do up to have 4 accounts up to 6,000 drawdown, or just 1 account up to 6,000 drawdown. It's up to you. You can limit your contracts however many you want. So there is a daily loss if you want, but you can also have it removed. And I said, well, why are you guys? So it costs more to have a no daily loss than daily loss, because what ends up happening, he said, is that people that don't have a daily loss will not put one on, and they'll come in, and as soon as they get to a live account or to a funded account, they're going to blow it in one day, and we don't want that. We don't want people to blow their account in one day. So, I mean, you can still choose that, and but they really want people, like, they're trying to have a little bit of a different approach to how it works, as far as not to be going through accounts and cycling through evals. They don't want that. They don't want you to keep cycling through evaluation accounts. They like it's a little bit of a different atmosphere. I actually had him on a couple of weeks ago, the CEO, but I'll have him on one of these days. And can you copy trade their accounts? Yeah, if you have like 4 accounts that total up to $6,000 drawdown, you can you can copy trade them. But if you have one $6,000 drawdown, you can it's just one account. I have the 6K one. All right, you're welcome. There you go. Any other questions you guys might have? Jesus. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you. Yes, so they want the gamblers to go elsewhere, like Brent said. Yeah, they don't like, even if you lose your account, they're not gonna let you reset. Like if you let's say you reset your account and I don't know, for whatever reason you lost it, they're gonna make you wait to reset your account until the following day, because somebody actually shared this on Twitter the other day where they reset a Top Step account 37 times in one day. And I'm like, that's when you kind of go on that tilt and you're just resetting to pass it, resetting, resetting, resetting. And they don't want that. They'd make a lot more money doing that by allowing it. But that's not what they want. So they actually want real traders to go in real live accounts so that there's a split, um, money made from the market and splitting it like that. What are my thoughts about Perdia Capital? I have not tried them yet. I do need to. I have like gone through the vetting system of them, and I have, they're pretty good, but I haven't personally tried them, so that's why they're not on my featured. So Perdia. Trade Day's another good one. Perdia Capital. Yeah. You know what? That's going to be one that I'm going to test out and let you guys. They have end of day, intraday, and static. Jamix, did you get a private mentorship from David? Or if you don't mind me asking, it is pretty much the same thing but with a few differences. No, I took a course with Investopedia Academy when they used to have an academy. So Investopedia, I'm sure you guys have seen if you've ever researched anything about the markets. Investopedia used to have an academy, and this was like 4 or 5, I can't remember, years ago that I went through their courses. That's where I met David. And then David went off and has his own Wall Street Group academy, him and Peter Tuchman. I have not taken I assume it's similar, or it's pretty much the same thing, but. So yeah, TFD is as close as a prop firm can actually be to having a personal live account. You're absolutely right. That's probably. You love the Futures Desk too, yeah. I have yet to find someone that doesn't. Anyone that has tried the Futures Desk, they have absolutely, compared to all the other firms, they love it. So I personally think, and I've told them this, I'm like, I wish you guys allowed more than just one 6K static account, like, but I understand at the same time it's a pretty big risk because they actually do move people over to live, and it opens up to bigger risk, obviously. So. Yeah, no, there's a lot of new firms popping up each month. I will not mess with them. I mean, my DMs are full of prop firms, not just prop firms, but a lot of like collaboration. I'm not gonna put my credibility or whatever on the line for that, because I don't know how sustainable they're gonna be, and I'm not gonna vouch for something that could rug next month. So. Yes, so the advanced accounts ended, so they're gonna end up being growth accounts. Yep, Brent, you're right. Any big trader that moved over to TFD could wipe them out if they didn't limit accounts and daily base. Yeah, till live. You're right. Yeah, that's why they want professional traders. And I don't even know if I'm still streaming on Twitter. I think I am. Ha. Oh, nobody's copying trades there. I think that's just what they say. The copy trading thing. Yeah, but fast track trading was also ran by a lot. So that's another thing. A lot of these firms are ran by like people that should not be running businesses. They shouldn't be running a Discord, let alone my God, I don't even know how they run their own life, let alone a prop firm. And that's another thing that I look at. I dig into what the CEOs like of the firms. So like for example, the futures desk, he's a very savvy, businessman who also has created software and platforms for um, the government and things like that. So it's not someone that's like a 19-year-old kid trying to run a prop firm. Legends, for example, the Legends firm is ran by a guy, a CEO that owns brokerage accounts or brokerages, whatever companies. So you gotta kind of dig um, into that kind of stuff. Um, if someone doesn't have, and don't get me wrong, there are some that are really great that never owned a brokerage firm that are great prop firms. That's not, but you have to kind of assess, and that's what I do when I go through everything. I try to see like their background, the CEO, how long they've been operating, all of that kind of stuff. Dang, Brent, I'm not going to be, I am not going to mention that. That's crazy. Uh, all right, guys. Oh my gosh, it's a Saturday afternoon. Wait, Scrooge, there was two giveaways. I already gave two giveaways. Did you miss it? Buddy, you've won different giveaways because yeah, well, Delilah, you want to be yeah, Dino won and so did Mike. Don't worry, there's plenty of other ones. Delilah's not your name. I don't know. Oh, the winners. Yeah. All right, guys. I think I've said all right. 35 time. Jedi's, I'll post a little thing how to um do a like when I do a giveaway. Actually, there are plenty of them still out there that are not done yet. Do another giveaway now? Nah, we're gonna have to wait. I'll do one for TWL though. No, you do not have to buy any accounts to enter any of these giveaways, guys. None of my giveaways are, you know, you do not have to enter. I mean, you don't have to buy anything. Giveaways are in the hot deals as well. They're also my Twitter, but so today is the what? 22nd. This one ends on the 26th. This one ends on the 30th, 26th. Just enter. I don't know what this means. If I click enter X. Oh, look, it's going to take me to that. Yeah, just go and enter on all of these, guys. Okay, so somebody wants to know how to enter. Yeah, read through which one is which. So when you go to Gleam, Jedis, are you watching? So when you click on that, you see this in the bottom where it's got email. You gotta enter. So you click on that and you log in. Okay, so there I logged in with one of my emails. So this right here, you're done. You're already entered, okay? Now, if you want to have extra entries, like worth one entry, like if I click on that, you can visit. If you want to do, hold on. I don't know, this one here is worth 2 entries. So you click on that. Okay. And then continue. Okay, now I have, look, 3 entries. If I sign up for Profit Trend, that, I continue. Now I am at 5 entries. You see that? If you follow, follow myself, continue. Now I have 6 entries. So that's how some of these, you just, you know, I mean, the more you have, the more, I mean, I don't pick this stuff. You guys have seen it. Like it's, Gleam goes through and obviously, you know, and the more entries, the more chances, but it doesn't mean that a person who just has this here down, you know, isn't going to win. So you don't need 6 screens. Scrooge, I'm not going to copy all the links. Just go to profirmtrend.com and go to hot deals and click on the giveaways. Yeah, you can use your phone too. This works on your phone as well. Nope, Jedis, you can use it on your phone as well. It works on there too. You just have to scroll down. So like log out. Okay, I'm gonna log out. I thought it was gonna show me how to do it on the phone. But yeah, no, you can do it on the phone too. It's not that. Yeah, you guys have plenty of time to win those. So All right, sounds good. All right, guys, I am out. I'll post another link for you guys to win the 5 people to win free Traders Wealth Lounge. So, adios.